play that I saw this week, you guys would have seen the movie Looking For Alibrandi. Do you remember Pia Miranda in that?
Yep.
Oh yes. Yeah, it was quite a. It sort of made her. She was this young actor, and it was quite a talked about film at the time. Do you both remember that?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yep.
So now it's been put on as a stage play at the Malthouse Theatre, and it still has freedom and identity at its core. We're talking the 1990s, and 17-year-old Josie Alibrandi, played by Chanella Macri, is of Italian origin. Very clever student in her final year at school, and she's looking to pursue a career in law. So all that's extremely favourable, very, very happy from a parental point of view, but she's not enamoured, the 17-year-old, by the tight rein being kept on her by her mother, Christina, played by Lucia Mastrantoni. She fell pregnant with Josie out of wedlock at the age of 16. And look, unfortunately, the now 17-year-old Josie is even less pleased with the strictures imposed by her mother's overbearing mother, her grandmother Nonna, who keeps referring to a family curse. Unexpectedly, into Josie's life steps the father that she hasn't known, Michael Andretti, played by Ashley Lyons. Just as suddenly, she finds herself interning for his legal practice. She is also interested in a couple of boys. Firstly, one being John Barton, played by Hannah Monson, the sensitive son of a member of Parliament. So that's John Barton. And then another, a strong orator, Jacob Coote, played by John Mark Desengano. While bringing up Josie has held back her mother's career, undoubtedly it's done that, her mother wants more for her daughter, and that's understandable. The Alibrandis, they're nothing if not headstrong women, and Christine and Nonna regularly clash, so her mother and grandmother clash with each other and then clash with her, and it's quite fiery, this environment. Nonna also holds a dark secret, which has caused her a great deal of angst and explains some of her behaviour. This was the highly regarded debut novel, Looking For Alibrandi, for Melina Marchetta. And believe it or not, it was published 30 years ago. So, of course, the film came out in the year 2000, received 5 AFI awards, as they were then known, including Best Film, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Lead, and Best Supporting Actresses. So, some big, big awards in that one. All of that's great. The stage adaptation is the work of a writer called Vidya Rajan, and direction is from Stephen Nicolazzo. Chanella Macri, excellent in the lead. She's got this imposing stage presence, perfectly suited to this piece. As good as she is in delivering her lines, though, it's the facial expressions that add greatly to her depiction of Josie. And often it's what's not said, just the look that she gives. Lucia Mastrantoni, well, a real hoot as Josie's best friend, fellow Italian named Sarah. And she struts about with confidence and a don't mess with me attitude. Quite hilarious. But that's not... She doesn't just play this one character. She's already created an entirely different character, being Josie's mother, Christina. The two couldn't be more different. And in that guise, she shows far more restraint, notwithstanding the fact that her character isn't afraid to mix it with Nonna. Then you've got Jennifer Vuletic, not backward in coming forward as Nonna, nor is she afraid of pulling girls into line as Sister Louise at Josie's school, St Martha's. So once again, Jennifer Vuletic plays a couple of roles. I also appreciated the dexterity required to pull off the dual roles of Ivy, who's the school captain who locks horns with Josie, and then Josie's thoughtful friend John. So you've got a female playing a male and a female role. Hannah Monson handles the switch back and forth quite adroitly. And finally, a couple more. John Mark Desengano is gifted some really choice lines as Josie's hot and heavy love interest. He appears to take great pleasure in delivering those lines, let me tell you. And Ashley Lyons milks the crossfire and the carry-on between mother and daughter as Josie's long-absent father. So they're the characters in Looking For Alibrandi. Set design is by Kate Davis, who's also responsible for costumes. That certainly makes a positive impression. Lots of white plastic crates, one after another, dozens after dozens, full of rich, ripe and red tomatoes, or, well, they're imitations, presumably. That's not to overlook a large drum to heat those vegetables, which Christina and Nonna do to make sauce. You've got the drum, you've got the crates, then you've got a trestle table, a few scattered chairs, and some kitchen implements. That's it. And it's a static stage in that area. It's quite a large area. In fact, one of the thoughts that I had is it's almost like too large an area because the characters have to walk a long way to get on and off the stage on occasions. I remember being impressed by the film when it first opened. I was not quite as sold on the play, I'm afraid. I appreciated the drama, the humour, the pathos. At 2 hours plus interval, I thought it was stretched. So it's got to do with the verbiage. A tightened script could have seen the story move faster, and I thought it needed that. Mind you, the opening night audience appeared to revel in the offering. They were on their feet and cheering and clapping at the end. So, I just thought it really it wasn't as strong as I remember the film to have been, notwithstanding all that I've told you. And yeah, there's a lot of Italian spoken as well. I mean, you understand what's going on because most of it's translated into English, but they bicker in Italian. So it's presented by Malthouse Theatre and Belvoir. It's on at Maryland Theatre at Malthouse Theatre until the 31st of July. Looking for Alibrandi, Alibrandi. I reckon there'll be a lot of people who may be listening to this program who saw the film. So, I mean, it's interesting when we're talking about Australian movies, as we were earlier, the movies that have influenced you. My favourite Australian movie of all time is Lantana. What would yours be, Dave?
Mine's Picnic at Hanging Rock. Always going to be a film that I absolutely love. I probably watch it 2 or 3 times a year. I love it that much.
Yeah, I've seen that quite a bit as well. What about you, Peter?
Oh, look, there are a number of good Australian films. I think The Dressmaker is a very appealing film.
Any others? I mean, that's that wouldn't be top of my list, but any others off the top?
Well, The Chant of Jimmy Blacksmith was certainly a groundbreaking film, even though it was a difficult film for many audiences.
Fair enough. I know that this is